I thought this was going to be a great way to we're in the fourth quarter of the year, so we're closing the year out, and, we've done this a few times.
Yeah.
And it's been a while. So it was needed. It was kind of needed.
For sure.
Flag on the Moon. Your birthday is coming up.
Number 8.
It's kind of a big deal. Flag on the Moon, I think it's the 10th, correct?
Yes, December 10th.
I always know that because it always coincides with my son's birthday. So I'm always challenged with how I'm going to figure out how to get out of the house and make the party at the same time, man.
How old is he this year?
Oh, he's going to be 12.
It's all ages. Bring him.
Yeah. It's about what he want to do.
Right. It's his birthday. I don't want to go see those rappers.
How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. I've been blessed.
You look good, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You doing. I've been thinking about doing an opinionated show, man. I don't know how controversial I'm gonna be in this conversation, but I've been thinking about some things, man. Should I not? What do you want it?
I don't know. I don't know what controversy. I mean, I don't know what controversy. Anything can be controversial in 2023, right? Anything. You can say anything.
Let me first off start off by saying though that I've been following your career for a long time, and I'm very proud of you. I'm gonna start there.
Thank you so much.
There was a time when I kind of looked at you and I said, and this is true. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything but truthful. There was a time I looked at you and I said, I mean, you worked so hard and you was putting out music, and I was like, dang, I was still trying to sit with the previous project. Mm-hmm. And then there came something else, you know what I'm saying? And then you was keeping me on my toes. And then over the past couple of years, I think All Art Ain't Pretty. I think when that project came out, I had something changed within even how I was looking at your work. I was like, you know what, man, I started feeling like he was working hard, and now like I seen you take another jump in growth as an artist. Mm-hmm. And there was a period of time where I felt like, he's just putting out music, he's working hard, platform builder, design. He was doing so many things. And I didn't know where the music fit in. Didn't really know where the music fit in. But then All Art Ain't Pretty, when that came out, I feel like because of the time and some of the things that were going on, I seen a jump. Now, you got you, Nicholas, Michael, AGM. Mm-hmm. And regardless, like, people look at you as a collective, as a group, but there's often a lot of times comparisons. Mm-hmm. Nicholas is my GOAT.
Right.
Michael's Hard to Be Keen project was a project that I feel like kind of separated him in a kind of way. And Radio has been the most consistent, hardest working artist in my opinion. But I think over the past couple of years, you've done some things this is where the controversy may come in a little bit. I think you've done some things over the past couple of years because of your consistency that has helped you, in my opinion, separate a little bit from them in a different way, because they haven't been putting out. I mean, Nick has put some music out recently, but they haven't been
just put out.
Yeah,
I mean, they both took about the same amount of time. Nick beating back to it, but they both had not put out any like full length records for 5 years.
For too damn long, yo. I don't care. Listen,
I'll say it's too long.
It's too long.
I mean, it's too long. I'm a fan.
You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely too long. Both. I get to hear the stuff behind the scenes, but it's not the same as getting a full. What I know is their full baked.
Well, I know
works.
So, Mike could say, I've heard him say.
Mike is actually, he keeps his stuff.
It's like slow cooking though. It's like they got what's that crock pot. It's like I get it, right. I understand it, but I say all that to say, I think by default, I don't know where the ages is. I mean, you're older than Mike, right? Who's old? Who's the younger?
I'm older than Mike.
But
I'm older than Mike by 2 years.
But I always kind of looked at you as the little bro, and now I feel like by default they haven't been working like you've been working, bro. And so I feel like it's kind of helped you in some ways, kind of put yourself in your own little place that now to me challenges the conversation a little bit. Is in a different kind of way.
I guess it all depends on who's having the conversation. I don't know of anybody. That's a first. But I understand.
Why it's the first? Because people don't. Look, this is a small city. I'm going to tell you why it's the first. This is a small city, and people are mindful of what they say and how they... I'm not saying anything disrespectful about them.
No. I'm saying the little bro part. So I know what you mean by that. Mm-hmm. I would definitely say that their profiles are bigger than mine.
I would say that,
but I don't think that anybody. I don't know.
I think that's changing. That's what I'm saying. That's my compliment to you. I think that's changing.
I appreciate it.
I think that Nick is in his own place, but I think that that they've taken Mike to, you know, I mean, I know he got music. It's been a long time, bro, and you've been grinding and working. It's a compliment to you. You've been grinding and working, and your pen has continued to get. You just put out, in my opinion, arguably your best project ever. Your last project.
Stop looking for noise.
Stop looking for noise, and so I mean, it's a compliment to you. It's no nothing to them because I'm wanting more music from them. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're gonna get it.
I'm just saying to you.
You're gonna get it.
But we've been hearing this since last year, bro.
I know, but you're gonna get it.
Now we're in a new year, and now we're going into 2024.
Listen, trust me. One, let's talk about, Specimen is an incredible project, incredible, and there's so much more coming behind that. Within that realm and outside of that realm, musically.
Yeah.
When it comes to Mike, I can tell you, when it comes
he's
to
teasing us.
Both of them, once the levee breaks, it's gonna be like a constant flood. So, and I can say the same for myself. I mean, I'm actually in my longest break ever. Like I didn't release a project this year. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've ever gone a full year without releasing a project since Whole Foods. So like Whole Foods this year is 10-year anniversary. Shout out to Tamir Rock. He's on Whole Foods as well. Whole Foods 10 years anniversary was the other day, on Mike's 40th birthday. Mm-hmm. I didn't remember that it was actually released on his 30th birthday. That was something that we came to the conclusion of. But now I get to realize that for the next 9-10 years, I'll get to celebrate a 10-year release for a project. All of them have been impactful in the space that that they've been received. So I'm excited about that. So I'm like, that does speak to. I've
had this conversation with Bryce, Mid-Atlantic Jams. I've had this conversation with Cheats. I'm telling you, as the artist, that some of us journalists, media's people, we sit back here and we say, you know what, like, I don't know, man. I feel like is a friendly competition. Do y'all spar? Is there friendly competition? No friendly competition.
There's no competition.
As brothers, man. Like, we're brothers,
no competition.
Man.
There's no competition. Like, zero. Like, I can't. That's why it's, like, funny to me. Because it's like, even when you say, like, the whole little brother thing, it's like, I don't take offense to it. It's just funny to me because the way that we have always treated each other is, like, even though, as peers, you know what I'm saying? Even Mike being younger than me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we just look at each other as peers. Like, even whoever, like, even with Nick having, always has had the higher profile. You know what I'm saying? Since high school, he's been, you know what I mean? Like, so but our mutual respect for each other's art form and how we influence each other. If you had a conversation with them years ago and asked them my influence on them in creativity, and you asked me their influence on me or Mike's influence from Nick, like, you're gonna get these really deep responses, like really deep detail, like, I learned this and I learned that and I learned that and I learned that from this person. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, we don't have, like, they're my brothers. So they're my brothers, for real.
But brothers spar, bro.
You know what it is? When we rap on record together, I think it's like that respect level is so innate in us at this point. We don't have to spar. I just, like, so if we're working on a 10,000 hours, so which me and Mike, and this is why I talk about me taking this kind of break, is crazy because we started another 10,000 hours project. We did 10 records in a weekend. And now we realized in September and we were like, and then we left it alone, like, oh, we're going to come back to it. And then we realized in September, it's been 2 years since we recorded those. We recorded them the same week that I finished Stop Looking for Noise. The funny thing about that is when we do records like that, when we did the first one, it's just I know where the levels are. So I know where so I'm just automatically there, and he's just automatically there, and then the record, you know what I mean? It's not like I don't have to think like, yo, he about to go crazy. I gotta go. It's not even a thought anymore. We've been doing this since we were kids, especially me and Mike. We started out in a group together in high school. You know what I'm saying? So we've been rapping together forever. So like that's why we did. And I just made a post yesterday, and I was saying 10,000 hours, like, and I'm like, we named it that because of how effortlessly we put it together. You know what I mean? And that just is a testament to how long we've been doing this and how serious we've taken it. So I mean, it's no competition, bro. Like I don't, I could think about after a record's done, I could be like, I got the best of this one or I got the best of that one. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of it, it's just meeting the bar.
So it's no
we know where the bar is.
So y'all not changing verses?
Hell no.
All right, hey.
Nah.
So listen.
We ain't never need to. We at the bar. It's like, man, it's like when you just know what you know. Like it's like being a great, but you step on the court with Jordan. It's like, I know where I gotta, and it's innate.
Yeah.
It's innate.
I'm with you. Listen, for those of you who are tuning in, let me introduce this brother, man. This brother is no stranger to the show. He's no stranger to my audience. Radio B, hip-hop artist, platform builder, curator of great things. He's been if hip-hop has a government in Virginia, he at minimum has to be a board of a supervisor. Like he at minimum has to be a delegate. He's definitely a leader amongst our state in his genre of building a culture on behalf of hip hop, and that's all things, including music. But that's all things. We will have a conversation today that is more than just music. He's a man, and he's a black man in our community that has been an example for other MCs. Just individuals, not only in Richmond, but across the state of Virginia. And it's really even more than that now, because the impact that he's having on this region with his platform, RVA Rap Elite, the SouthPaw Battle Coalition, him continuing to carry out the legacy that his mother has, with which I'm wearing, Mama Joe's collection today as well. I mean, it's just been, she's proud of him. We proud of him, and go check out his page, Radio. Let them know where they can follow you right now if they're not familiar.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for that incredible introduction. You can follow me at Radio Blitz, or all things involving me at killthedreamer.com. Clothing is Mama Joe's collection, RVA Rap Elite, SouthPaw Battle Coalition, all of the things. Very humble brother. As you guys kind of caught the initial piece of this conversation, this brother is continuing to ascend. I think he's bringing sophisticated hip hop. As we grow, he's continuing to grow, and we're just very proud of him. And I wanted to have this conversation today, in kind of as we're closing the year, and. Just kind of wanted to kind of touch on the kind of look back at the year a little bit and talk about some of the things that's happened, and
I'm kind of facilitating this conversation, but this brother is gonna help facilitate it with me because he got things he want to talk about as well. I think I think he might corner me over here a little bit as well. So but let's get right into it. We just finished up. Is this the 6th or 7th season of RVA Rap Elite?
We're finishing up the 6th season.
6th season. We just finished the 6th season of RVA Rap Elite. Shout out to Bravo, who was the MVP.
Yes, season 6 MVP.
And he only played half the season.
Not even.
He came in at 50,
episodes.
Right? Episode 50.
Yeah, after 50.
And
we ended at 53.
Yo. And
so he took 2 of the 3. What really, I think, and I mean, obviously if he came in earlier, he would have still been competing, but what happened this year was kind of unprecedented with Rap Elite in the sense that we never had this competitive of a season. Prior to Bravo, the first 6 episodes all had a different champion. That's never happened before. It's never been where somebody didn't go on a run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was already like kind of unprecedented. So by the time he came in and won one, he became the 7th champion.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, who's gonna grab another one, or are we gonna just be breaking down intangibles when it comes down to MVP? So he grabbed another one. He didn't grab the last one, but then Trey Authentic grabs his first of the season in the last one. So it's like, yeah, it was a very interesting.
So let me ask you this: you know, we've seen. I love how hip hop, even though sports is hip hop. Okay. Yeah. Even though sports is hip hop, I love how we can look at a season of Rap Elite and kind of compare it to sports.
For sure.
So when you think about MVPs of the past, we've had Trademark, Basic,
Mila Mansa,
Vintage A.
Vintage A.
When you look at all these different bits,
Trey Authentic, and now Bravo.
So when you look at these different seasons of MVPs, every season's probably been different for that MVP. What's outside of him winning the MVP and the shortest run of a season, what do you think about the bars? What do you think about the content? Is there anything with it that separated him or that distinguishes him from other MVPs?
I feel like what separated him in this season, when you say from other MVPs,
I mean, the reason why, look, I want to put it in the context of the fact that he didn't even play a full season. This is like LeBron scoring, being the lead. I mean, I don't know, like you. I think it's a tough. Look at the points.
It's a tough situation because it's a part of it is like you didn't have to make up a whole lot of ground because everybody was.
There wasn't no runs.
There was no runs.
Okay.
So you didn't when Basic came in that first year and kind of stole the end of that season 2, and it was like a debate between him and Vintage.
Yeah.
But Vintage had ran off with 4 early.
Yeah.
So it was like, it ended up going to Vintage. You know what I'm saying? But there was a conversation there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This year, it was like. One of the things I will say is he had a lot of people to contend against to get them 2 wins. So even though he didn't have to make up a whole lot of ground, he had to fight through a lot of real competition. You know what I mean? Because all those 6 champions, most of them were still there competing when he got there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they just had went off somewhere and wasn't competing anymore. The only one that did that was Will. He won the first episode and didn't come back. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else, Trey St. Fauntleroy was there. Wansky was there fighting. Rel's there fighting. You know what I mean? Who else had gotten a... Kello. Kello was there fighting. You know what I'm saying? So... he really had to fight, and then he had to do I think a double sudden death against. Oh, and Vintage was back. Vintage didn't win one this year, but Vintage came towards the end of the season, and he came around the same time Bravo came.
Yeah.
So he's there competing. They're in double sudden deaths against each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because Vintage is trying to get that extra win.
On
the mountain,
trying to get the top
to tie
Basic.
But now the story is Trey is also got 6 wins now. So I love the lineage. I love being able to talk about it like that. You know what I mean? And
I wanna shout out Basic. I wanna get Basic on the show. I mean, excuse me, not Basic. Bravo. I wanna get Bravo on the show.
He's getting ready to getting ready to work on a project.
Let's talk about Bravo. So Bravo is, first off, appreciated you reposting that clip from a few years ago. It might have been 3 years ago. The clip I made about older MCs. I like that. I'm glad you reposted that. Anytime that a baller can you're a baller, you're in the game, and you can make a pass to a media guy out here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, oh wait, he kicked out for 3. You know, because y'all don't be kicking out for 3 always.
No, you know what? We missed you this year with you not being a GM, because one thing about you as a GM is not only do you take your GM role seriously and compete, but you use your platform to stir the pot, and it helps build on the stories, right? And I think that's super important. We picked the GMs all because most of which all have some sort of platform one way or another. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I thought this year it's unfortunate that you weren't in the mix, because you would have enjoyed it, because this year our GMs were the most engaged, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of... You know how some years it'd be like 2 or 3 that ain't doing... They don't really pay attention to doing nothing or really competing with each other. Like, all of them are all talking junk to each other and really, like... That's good, man. Shooting for it. So... That's good. Shout out to the GMs. Shout out to the GMs, all of them, for sure. But that type of post you made, you would do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that... We need that. Yeah. We need voices. We need the journalistic elements. Well, I mean, the analytic element. And that's the analytic. In all respect, and I want to hit this on Bravo, because Bravo showed this year that the vets can come out. That the vets can come back, and I want to talk about that. But I also So let me answer your question. You asked what sets him apart from other MVPs. Yeah, that's the thing, and I felt like when he came in, the air in the room changed when like Wonsky's like, once Bravo won the first one, Wonsky's already like, bro, why you even here, bro? Like, because his stats had him in the leader. Even though they all had 1 win, his stats kind of had him. He felt like this was his season. You know what I'm saying? So he's like... And Wonsky has been a phenomenal artist throughout the platform. For sure. Yeah. And he's like, yo, wow. He's like, yo, why you don't go back where you came from, bro? Like, why are you here? You about to ruin my season. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I think that veteran... But it was respected. It's like you had to respect him. You know what I mean? And he's got rounds in the tuck. Well, he old school. So when sudden death comes, he's going in books. He memorized these rhymes 5-10 years ago. When it come to sudden death time, and you got to have 2 or 3 extra rhymes, he got him. He pulled him. And I think the fact that he battled Trey Authentic, and Trey battled him. I mean, the respect that helped. Coming out, pushing. See, because we incorporate SouthPaw wins in the conversation of MVP, so that played a little bit of an extra part in making that final decision. Even if we didn't say 2 wins over 1, there might have been other elements. But him having a win in a battle this year over the season 5 MVP, that definitely kind of sealed the deal for me. Yeah, I think my whole thing is this, man. I mean, well, I don't have any malintentions. I ain't got any enemies. But sometimes you gotta stir the pot. That's the culture. That's the culture we from. That's the reason why I kind of initiated this conversation by saying, "Yo, Mike, bring some music, bro. Bring some music. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. It's on the way. But we tired. But we want. Sometimes you got to get. I know. Listen, y'all. You ain't gotta. You speaking to the choir. I know, but at the same time, that's also, again, the intention. The real intention ain't about Mike. The real intention behind that statement, truthfully, and I just want to emphasize that, is that while they've been slow cooking, you've been grinding and growing, and I just think that through that time, like, I look at it like, I look at it. I can see what you're saying with the release of the music.
With the release of the music, I'm just saying that radio, you are a better artist now than you. I mean, you continue to grow. You're continuing to get better, and you know, I think it's been through the practice and through the through the momentum and through the development as an MC. I mean, this last project was probably in my.
A lot of people said it.
You know?
A lot of people.
And that's not just because I'm getting old either. That's not just because I'm getting old.
Said it.
And that's not just because you get old.
And that's hard for me to, you know. Sometimes it's hard to accept that, and then but then I also look at it like, what they basically saying is you're in your prime. So why, you know, that's not a bad thing. But you know, you all of the albums are your baby, and when you have albums that have been, you know, when you got a Jesus Never Wore a Suit, you know what I'm saying? When you got a, you know, Whole Foods, or you got a Climb, or you got a Never Fall Off, or All Art Ain't Pretty. It's hard to hear. This is your unequivocal best. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're like, yo, bro, wait. Don't just say it like that. Don't just jump out the window with it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's saying you're getting better. How could you...
Can't complain about that.
You can't complain about that. When you've been doing something for over 20 years and you getting better?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're right. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Because it only took me a week and a half to write and record that album.
And we're celebrating 10 years of Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I remember when that came out.
That's amazing.
I remember the
Whole Foods was like a manifestation of
listening session.
Rap Elite.
Say that again?
Whole Foods is kind of like an audio manifestation of Rap Elite.
Explain.
Like, you look at the Whole Foods ciphers, and like bringing together all of these different MCs in the city. That either didn't know each other, you know what I'm saying? And those types of posse cuts, even back then, weren't happening anymore. Like, we weren't really doing that. That sound of that album, this is pre Griselda. This is pre a lot of things that are currently now.
Yeah.
That sound wasn't what... People weren't making that type of... boom bap, soul rap like that. Not in 2013, bro. That wasn't what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the reason why I know that is because I was like, yo, I'm gonna make a project that makes me feel like when I first wanted to rap. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like those elements. And all my projects prior to that, the only people that were featured on my projects were AGM. For real. AGM. And a lot of my projects since then feature AGM. You know what I'm saying? But that was a concerted effort to bring together the community of artists that I felt like, yo, all these dudes be rapping. Let's bring, you know what I'm saying? Let's introduce some people you never seen before, like Mr. Rel, you know, like James River, like, it's like, and then you get to get the Lonnie B verse. Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah, you reshared that too. Yeah. Let's build on that. So, Radio Being Friends was, you continue to push that. I think it started the year before though, right?
What?
Radio Being Friends.
The very first one was pre-pandemic. And then last year, I did a whole series of them. And then this year we did one at Bramley.
Dang, I'm combining the years then. Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna see Radio Being Friends in 2024?
For sure.
Same type of vibe.
Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna be, how frequently it's gonna be. I'm never gonna probably force myself to like try to pack them back to back like that, like I did. But it's one of those things that'll be reoccurring. I love it, you know, and people are very receptive of it. I always kind of wanted to do a free one like we did at Bramley. And I would love to do that more frequently, but that means somebody got to cut me a little bit of money in order to, you know, make sure the musicians are paid and, you know, and all of that. And just, the stress and energy and time that it takes to put everything together. But I would love to find some partnerships that could, or a partnership that could make that even happen more regularly, honestly. You know what I mean? But I think it's one of those things that sometimes I get tired of selling tickets, bro. Like, I'm tired of having to, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like a lot of, I already got to do it once a month with Rap Elite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not one of those things that just, unfortunately, sells itself.
Ideally, it'd be great. Like I said,
Right.
I think there's a, hey, listen, calling on sponsors right now.
Yeah,
if
man.
you are interested in,
we got a number of things to get involved in that have influence in the
look,
culture,
if you're listening and you're looking to give back to the community, and you want to collaborate and connect with the culture, then
absolutely, we got the channels.
Here it is
for sure. SouthPaw, Rap Elite, Radio Being Friends. Hey, we even got time if you want. Well, I don't know when this is coming out, but if you want to get in on Flag on the Moon,
yeah,
and we got some weeks. So,
yo, I want to jump over to SouthPaw real quick and kind of piggybacking off this. So when I make the statement that I think there's a lot of MCs out there, veteran MCs, who got ridiculous pens, that I question sometimes if they really want to smoke with some of these up and coming MCs that are not really so much up and coming, just maybe newer on the scene, right? And they've been doing it, but what's your thought about that?
I think that I think I felt strongly about that more than I do now. Now, I just, I kind of just live and let live. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think about it too much. Like, I'm not even sure who I would direct that to right now. You know what I mean? Like, that energy, right? Like,
I'm not directing the energy toward no one particular, but I'm just looking at the
we've seen some people some people come across.
We've seen
this year. We've seen some people come across.
That's my point. Without even directing the energy, we've seen it. We've seen it, and I've seen it.
What you saying?
Real life beat Big Genya in that battle.
It was a close battle.
I wasn't surprised, bro.
It was a close battle.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised. The reason why is just because it's two different styles of battling, and Rel was more technical. I just didn't feel. I mean, we saw Big Genya lose to Habib in the same, and I'm just looking at styles. Like, to me, anytime, I don't care if you house, I don't care. I'm a critic, so I'm not. Veterans, all those titles are kind of. I'm not talking about titles. If I'm looking at two different styles of MCs go up to the stage and battle, and there's one who's more technical and more lyrical, and there's another one who their style is just maybe more aggressive.
Genie's gonna be so mad to hear you say that Rel is more technical or lyrical.
Why? Let me tell you, what's the other? What's the argument? What's the position on it?
I mean, I think that.
I mean, help me understand.
Genie
what I
has
might be
a
missing.
very sneaky style when it comes to his lyricism, right? And I think let me say this. I think a lot of guys that have big stature and big voices, and perform intensely, get their pen underrated by people.
I mean, he throws a lot of uppercuts and knockout punches.
Like he be talking like he really be writing up there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just think that people see a big guy, right, and they react more to, like, even like Twerk, for instance. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, Twerk has one of the craziest pens in battle rap, but people pay more attention to, like, his the way that he's so, like, powerful in his delivery. His voice is so, you know what I'm saying, boisterous and loud, and he's such a big domineering figure that they feel like what everybody's reacting to, or they try to say everything that the people are reacting to is more so that element than it is their pen. But when you really break down what they're saying, like, it's like some of the most complex stuff that's being said. And I feel like Genya has those moments too.
Nah, look, I'm not dismissing that he don't have those moments. See, you're being media trained and professional.
What? No.
I'm not saying he doesn't have those moments.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying he throws uppercuts.
You gotta understand. We in a chat. CC. SouthPaw is a family too. You know what I mean? And we're becoming more and more.
Oh shit! Here we go.
We're becoming more and more of a family every day. God. But what I say is no. I say this in another way.
Yeah.
These guys are going at it like this every day. like amongst each other,
like brothers do sparring, right?
Yeah, sparring or just talking it. It's like I think Rel had like when he watched the battle back, he had a lot of respect for what he felt like he didn't catch when he was on stage. He's like, yo, I ain't, the bet. If anybody want to call the battle, however they want to call it, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But if you asked him before it dropped, he was like, I feel like it's gonna be more clear when the battle drops. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my win gonna be even more clear when it drops. When it dropped, he was like, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. You put blood in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that among MCs. You know what I'm saying? And I think Jenya, I think he's felt like his pen has been underrated for a long time. And I'm glad we're having this conversation because this will put an additional battery in his back. We going into 2024.
Well, I don't know if Big Jenya care what I say.
Yes, he does.
I don't think so.
He cares.
I don't
know. The crazy thing is, that's the power of Rap Elite, though. The power of Rap Elite is...
You work on that pen.
That, and more predictions for Rel beating Jenya. Like crazy more predictions for Rel beating Jenya than Jenya beating Rel. Which in the realm of Richmond battle rap is
crazy,
asinine.
Yeah,
it was.
But you know what? It's because of Richmond culture. I'm not from Richmond. That's because of Richmond culture. Y'all holding on to this veteran, legendary, historic stuff, and I'm saying that's out the door when you get up on the stage.
And
the ball goes up.
That's how SouthPaw has been from the very beginning. Which is why I feel like the Rel situation actually just kind of plays into
I don't understand
our legacy.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I saw there was a hierarchy or this is who and who is what and what, and I'm like, when SouthPaw came and we developed our own roster, which all my roster has always been guys that weren't your veteran or prototypical battle rappers. They're battle rappers that are rappers that I convinced to battle rap.
Okay.
And we went through the fire to learn to do this, right?
Yeah.
And then we just...
As a family.
Yes. And we just took over.
Yeah.
Now, people are going to hate that word. But it is what it is. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. People in the battle community, that's not SouthPaw.
Yeah, they're going, oh my gosh, they're going to hate that.
But you guys are the premier battle rap platform in this area.
But people come to our platform. I didn't even let my guys battle each other for... They were like, yo, why SouthPaw dudes don't ever battle each other? I'm like, nah, we just keep on inviting y'all over. And very rarely did y'all pluck one of my guys off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's and so now we have a new school. Now Rap Elite creates a whole nother pipeline of MCs that come from Rap Elite to SouthPaw or to battle rap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so excited about that. The multiverse that we are creating.
Oh yeah, we are in the multiverse.
We're in a
Yo, can I just say that I was talking to Real Life at the Face Off, and I shared something with him that I thought that he might want to approach in his rhyme. And he did.
Oh.
Yes. I'm crediting myself. I did.
Man. Look.
I was like, man, you gotta...
Here you go stirring the pot.
Well, hey, shout out to SouthPaw Battle Coalition. Shout out. Listen, I want Big Jenya on my show, too. Let's talk.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like people like Jenya deserve to be talked to on these platforms. This guy...
But I might need your help with that, though.
I
might need your help with that, though. I don't really have a relationship.
It ain't no... This guy battled Nicholas F. on the official record. The voted record is that he won the battle. Whether people agree with that or not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? By the judges that were bestowed that power that night.
Yeah. I will say, I would not want to be, I wouldn't want to catch the uppercut or the knockout punch from him. Of course not.
No.
You know? I think Habib, though, and I'm glad we having this conversation because we really wrapping around the year, man. Habib is
world champion.
Man, Habib is like let me tell you what I think, Radio. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna punch you with something real quick. Let me tell you what I think. I want you to get out here and battle rap, but it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to battle rap someone from somewhere else. You can't battle rap anybody from Richmond because of the platform.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
It is. I mean, it's not frustrating.
Because like if you battle
it's
somebody,
when I do think about wanting to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the time, I'm not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? But when I do say, okay, well, it would be nice to do it. But then when I think about like who, and I'm like, there's not a real. You know what I mean?
I think the fact though that like you know what I'm saying, you own this platform,
right? That's
and
what
so
makes it crazy.
it difficult because you can't be part of the critique and then get in stage. You know that you can't do it.
It just looks like And
but I know you want
no
to.
offense to anyone, but it will look like unless somebody has created a reputation for themselves that appears to be invincible, right? Like they just gone on, they just beat everybody in the world. It's gonna look like I'm punching down.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
It's always gonna look like that.
But I would love to see you. But I would say I can say people, but then you've already battled them. You know. So, but man, Habib is.
And I battle Habib.
I know, that's why I can't say anything. But Habib right now is I don't see anyone beating Habib.
But this is not
right
I didn't battle the form of Habib that is now.
No.
To be respectful.
Yeah.
And it was a one rounder, so we never.
So,
I don't really put a.
So I mean,
don't do it. Don't do it.
Habib, I'm just saying, man. Yo. So 50th year of anniversary of hip hop. You, your brother Nicholas F, Kane, Mike Street. There were several Nicholas F. There were several people.
Great night.
LeVar Stoney, the mayor of Richmond, presented. He presented something. I forget what it exactly was, but it was a celebration.
It was a declaration of 50 of it's basically Hip Hop Day in Richmond as of It was a proclamation of it being Hip Hop Day in Richmond going forward.
You guys performed at the Hippodrome, which is a legendary theater.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, what does that mean to you?
You know me, I love walking hip hop into a new venue, right? Like I love those getting to touch stages that we say, oh, hip hop ain't never touched the stage before. You know what I'm saying? So just to be able to be a part of that. Knowing that I mean I've been there for a hip hop show, but it was Raekwon. That don't count. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Richmond hip hop. You know what I mean? So we were the first ones to really do an independent show at the
Broadberry. I know Raekwon. That was dope.
Yeah. I met Henny Low there. Yeah.
Really? When was this?
Oh man, some years back. DJ Lonnie B DJ'd. Noah opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
At the Hippodrome.
That's dope.
That was like the only hip hop show I know that's been at the Hippodrome.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that we were like the first at the Broadberry, on some like independent hip hop stuff. We were the first at Ember. We were the first at Tang and Biscuit. We were one of the first in the Dark Room.
Is the Dark Room done? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Ember seems like it's a nice place to be, though.
It is nice. Shout out to Ember.
Shout out Ember Music Hall. It definitely brought a different type of feel to the city.
It's a really cool setup for Rap Elite. It's more condensed, but it's still spacious. We can do a lot with this, with the aesthetics and the screens and all that. So it plays into like the things that me and Frank work on, and I think it's perfect for us right now.
High Off Life, you did that freestyle this year.
Yeah.
The brother at Atlanta.
Yeah, shout out my man Mike Sick.
Yep, I'm just pointing the stuff out that it's kind of easy. You go down your timeline on your Instagram, you can just see like how you moving, and it's been a good year for you.
It's been a busy year.
It's been a good year.
Shout out to Virginia Union.
Yep, I mean you're the first artist in residence. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yeah, there. And is that still going to go forward in this?
Yeah, and the big thing about that for this year, we didn't get to it's going to go going forward to this next school year. But the biggest thing that came from that for me, because I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to do in the role, and that kind of frustrated me. But one thing that we did do was the God tier lecture, and that kind of birthed the opportunity for me to take that lesson.
Yeah, I've seen you at the Boys and Girls Clubs and stuff. I mean, we was doing some Boys and Girls Club work too. You've been out in Tidewater doing it.
So, and that's a brand. That's something that I want to, and not just with the kids, but just like in general, the God tier and the breaking down of lyricism. That first class taught me a lot about even our age group as listeners. Mm-hmm. Because most of the people that came and attended were like our age group. Mm-hmm. And me breaking down like classic songs and lyrics and verses that we all know, but people are receiving them in a whole different way. Like, oh, I'm listening to rap differently now, and then like hitting me up with, different like mechanics and things that I taught, like, oh man, I'm looking for inferences now, and I'm looking for this, and I'm looking, you know what I'm saying, like, or the ABAC, like the rhyme patterns and all of the different technical things that they now are like unlocking, and their Easter eggs for them is like mind blowing. So I'm like, that's shout out to Mickey Fax. He's got Pendulum Inc. and he's teaching lyricism to MCs, and I would love to plug in with him.
Inspired. This is, I be mad sometimes as a listener when I don't get it first. Because I be like, look, everybody's everybody getting it. And I'm on.
And that's the thing. Like, I feel like God tier, I could kind of like teach on the other end. Like, even we can do MCs, right? I do that with Rap Elite. I'm already doing that. You know what I'm saying? But we could also teach listeners to listen better. You know what I'm saying? And that's a whole different lane. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it helps the entire sphere. Like, it helps the ecosystem of lyricism. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can teach people to listen better, then there's more inspiration to teach people to rap better. You know what I'm saying?
It's like
because who wants to rap to people that ain't listening?
You're right. It's like Nick said in a previous interview. He said, I said, Nick, I saw you in Starbucks one day, and I didn't want to bother you because you were just so deep in your book reading. I was like, you read like that? He was like, man, well, I'm a writer. I feel like if I'm going to be a good writer, I need to be a good reader. And I was like, so it kind of same thing to you. If you want to be a good rapper, you need to be a good listener.
Absolutely.
That's good.
100%.
Top Shelf Premium came to Charged Up No O store, the flagship store this year. You guys had there was another cypher opportunity. The city came out. Visuals was shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing really good. I think that's something that artists are really improving on with the city. Like, cameras are out when people outside, the cameras out and the videos are getting shot. You might get a cameo any moment now.
Yeah, you got to be on your P's and Q's.
What was that experience like for you? Because it kind of brought back the essence of what you
it's dope.
Where we're from.
I love, it's dope. It's just, to me, it's an extension of what we doing, right? It's like, it's like anytime that there's ciphers additionally somewhere now, I'm like, that just is a further concretes the culture of Richmond hip hop. You know what I mean? I told folks like some years back, right prior to the pandemic slowed us down. But I was telling everybody when Rap Elite was super hot in the dark room, I was like, look.
What you trying to say? Rap Elite's still super hot.
No, we super hot, but in fact, it's crazy because that's a whole nother conversation. But what's crazy about that is we actually put more people in Ember than we could even ever have put in the dark room. Yeah. But the energy.
Yeah, in the dark room is different.
Around Rap Elite at that time was different.
We got to shout out Tone Red.
It was.
Tone Red was bringing on. He had people coming in. I felt like artists was kind of. It was bringing energy with them. If you bring your crowd to the dark room and it ain't but so many people can get in there, you can kind of create the energy for yourself that you want to have.
I don't necessarily feel like he was necessily bringing them.
I'm just using him as an example.
But what I will say about him in that particular instance is that he knew how to capture a room. Yeah. Right? So he knew how to brand, like he was the one with the catchphrase. He had the charisma. So he can make a room feel like they was all there to see Tone Red. You know what I'm saying?
The dark room also brought us out, meaning like it kind of created an environment.
It wasn't the dark room though. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the dark room. The dark room played a part in it because it gave it a good aesthetic.
Okay.
But it started in Champion Brewery. Like, that energy started there with people, because we were able to do it for free for a little while in Champion Brewery. And then Champion Brewery closed and we moved to the dark room. And so it's like the momentum just kind of kept going. And the thing about it is,
in that space.
And it was confined in that space. So it's like, when you start to max it out fast, because it can only max out fast. So once it maxed out and people were coming and couldn't get in, and then they're going to social media like, oh man, I got the Rap Elite. I tried to get here early. I'm here at 7:30 and I can't get in.
Yeah.
It started to make, it's FOMO.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, everybody like, well, what you mean? It's like that? Well, I've been hearing about it, and I've been hearing. That's what I mean by, I don't think it had anything to do with any place or any person. It had to do with, it was hot. It was like, oh, people were so curious. And then when they got there, it was an experience. So the people that would come, they would come back. But every month it was growing. It was a fever around it. And I want that fever. It's not like we're not doing numbers. We you know what I'm saying? We're putting people in the building. In fact, like I said, we put more people in Ember than we could put in the dark room. But it's that energy among the just general public that I need. Like right now, we're honing in on an audience, and we're pulling audiences out. We have a consistent 30 MCs every month. So they're bringing their people out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get to this point of, I'm not saying I don't want to care for us to be trendy. I just want us to have this consistent hot audience that is there every month, and it just is continuing. I need that fever, that energy back. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think we're gonna get there. It takes everything to warm up after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? That pandemic situation, I'm still learning to go outside. Like, just go.
Yeah.
Not without planning it. Not, you know what I'm saying? But just go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still getting re-warmed up to that. And I feel like we're all still kind of like coming out our shell a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna say some things, right? Well, first off, I'm curious before I even go there, because I like to do these little games and stuff. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna say something.
You be asking people crazy questions.
Who?
You just with the little games and stuff. I'm gonna tell you about that. You be wilding a little bit.
What you mean, man?
No, we're not gonna. I'm not gonna repeat your questions. I'll tell you later. But I'll be like, yo, what you?
Oh yeah, but but before I go there, before I go there though, man. Before the show, we was talking about how I don't think we were saying that hip hop is. We wasn't saying hip hop.
We weren't saying that. I know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm curious though.
Somebody asked me that.
Asked you if hip hop was dead or dying.
And it's been talked about a lot.
Yeah,
lately.
and you said you think that media is having media.
We were having a conversation. No, I don't think that this is the reason, but I think that. If we're going to ask that, can we talk about how journalism is dead?
Let's talk about it.
Journalism is dead.
Dead in the aspect
you spoke of the High Off Life freestyle. And the High Off Life freestyle, I was like, I was talking about these young cats, shooting. I was like, they got their arm out the window, like journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
Journalistic integrity is out the window these days. Because nowadays it's click bait. Nobody they just upping the click rate from Source to Double XL, Complex and Genius. Nobody writing about rapping, wondering what's the meaning. Like I went to Hip Hop DX. They had something about Will Smith they was talking about Will Smith crazy today. You go to hip hop since 1987, they probably got the same thing. Double XL probably got the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Genius. What? We ain't busting down no lyrics.
It's probably, social media is obviously a major
But this is
factor.
my thing.
Influencers.
And I get it. Everybody wanna be able to survive the algorithm.
But the
right?
same thing applies to artists with this bullshit rap and lyrics.
Sure.
It goes both ways.
For sure.
It's watered down culture.
And they're serving the audience that they feel is present.
Yeah.
I get that. But what happened to journalism being the ones to actually call that out? Like, that's what journalists did. That's how you kind of that's kind of how you could keep the levels without the artist having to step out of their square and say something and be looking like the gatekeeper. So, like, as an artist, I shouldn't be like, such and such is whack. You shouldn't listen. That makes me look like a hater.
Yeah.
That's a journalist's job.
It's our job, exactly.
It's your job to say, no, one mic, this is trash.
But we got a lot of artists, though.
No, but nobody is doing that.
Well,
and even if you don't want to trash anything, cool.
Yeah.
Where are the writers that are bigging up what's great out here so that can have a higher view or higher, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree
more
with
appreciation.
You. I agree with you.
Where we don't have to talk about the things we don't like.
Well,
I'm big on that. Don't talk to me about what you don't like.
No, I agree with you. Look at sports, man. Right now, some of the most successful commentators, broadcasters are former players. They don't have absolutely no journalist background, but part of their expertise and skills come as a result of the fact they played the game. It's happening in journalism. It's happening.
Then they get mad at you like Joe Budden.
What do you mean? I think Joe's great.
I think Joe's great. But then whenever he says something you don't like, everybody gets mad.
And think about it. And Joe is he's kind of like on the upper echelon, professional, experienced MCs who, which I'm going to tell you, and I've tell people, man, well, I think, is it Rage in the Machine? One of my favorite projects ever in hip-hop, to be honest with you. I think it's Rage with Joe Budden. That's one of my favorite projects. I still work out to that.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, that's part of what's happening. Joe's like that's part of what's happening.
It's his delivery, though. He gets passionate and then he says things that he goes a little far.
Yeah, well, he always has.
Yeah.
He always has. But no, I think that's interesting perspective. I want to throw some things out there. I want you to give very simple, not simple. I want you to give concise responses. I just want you to kind of share your perspective on these bullet points I'm going to throw out. Okay. Sexy Red.
I just told you.
What, man? I just want you to give a statement. A statement. Sexy Red.
I'm happy for her for being able to change her life in a positive way. Her music is not for me.
Gotcha.
And I don't think it's for I don't think it's for our little girls. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But she ain't alone in that. So,
gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. I don't have nothing bad to say.
Southside.
As a whole? Like the side
I'm just saying.
Southside Richmond?
I'm just saying Southside.
Home. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Some of the home of some of the greatest rappers you're gonna ever hear. That's it.
Trig.
Oh man. Arthur Ashe Boulevard. Spread Love. His album is about to be phenomenal. Like when I say like that Southside, Trig, an album that could only come from Trig and could only come from a collective of people from Richmond, Virginia. That's all I can say about that.
Sometimes I wonder, like, when you say that, and now you can expand on this a little bit, and I'm going to get back to the game, but what does that mean? Like, sometimes, because I've heard you say things like that before, like, you are definitely the biggest advocate for, people get, to me, you're one, when it comes to, particularly when it comes to hip-hop culture, and it ain't no one going to tell you that there's better hip-hop anywhere else in the world. You almost seem psychotic with it. I mean, come on, bro. Argue. What's the argument? What's the argument?
The argument is
defend that. I'm just saying defend it.
The argument is the depth of talent, the variety of styles that are genuine.
Gumbo.
Not we picking from people. Oh, this. We watching the internet and doing what the internet say. Yes, there's some people that do that, but we've always had this melting pot of variety of styles, which is like they try to say we don't have a sound, which they don't understand. That is the sound. The sound is we're a military state, we're a college state, college city, we're right in the middle of the Mason-Dixon, we're right on 95, so we have a bunch of transplants.
Yeah.
So yes, everybody talks a little different. Everybody raps a little different. Everybody's taste and styles a little different. And then you got people that were homegrown here and for generations after generations. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's all of those elements into what makes a Richmond person.
Yeah.
Let alone an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we all, whether you in a county or whether you in a city, we all in this proximity together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't really, there's a lot of rubbing going on. So let's not try to separate that too much. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you live in Chesterfield, you might have just moved there from, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you got cousins that are in the north side, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I grew up. I grew up on the south side, but my cousin lived on the north side. So I'm around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Richmond, special, man.
Let me ask you this: I'm glad you gave that answer. That's because I agree with that. I just know, man, you be going hard. Don't nobody go harder. I'm big on play yours. I mean, I'm gonna play mine. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just a consumer of music,
especially in this day and age. Yeah, I mean, we not saying Richmond got better artists than New York ever had or Atlanta ever had. Or,
okay, I'm
not saying
sure,
that. I'm saying if we talking about it right now.
Yo, you ready to go 5-on-5 with whoever want to throw the ball up?
Whoever want to throw the ball up right now. Whoever.
Are you gonna come to Rockwood though? Would you come to Rockwood to play?
For sure.
So I'm gonna tell you, I've been having some conversations about end of year wrap up stuff. I'm gonna share my position on something and share yours to compliment. As hard. I mean, you're probably one of the hardest working platform builders for the culture. It goes without saying. It is what it is. But I think what I've seen Noah do, I think Noah has been one of the hardest working. I don't know if we've seen anyone outwork Noah artistically on behalf of the music push. This year might have been one of his most. I don't know if it's hardest working years. I guess all the things he's been up against too with trying.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't say we've seen Noah put out more projects in a year, but I think what happened this year with Richmond Brave, which to me is
crazy, man.
A certified classic Richmond album, like Richmond hip hop album, like. Could have came out at any time. You know
it could have been in the 80s.
Just it sounds like Richmond. It's like if you once again you have to be from Richmond.
I mean, I don't think so. I think that song
to me that's
a To me that couple of those songs are commercial songs.
No. Don't confuse me when I say that it. When I'm not saying that it's not to be consumed by the world.
Okay.
I'm saying that to make it, in order to make that.
Okay.
You had to be from here. And I think that's exactly what they were going for. This is to let you know this is what I grew up in. This is what made me.
They did a really good job.
Richmond Brave.
They did a really good job. They did a really good job of that.
And they did a great job of that. And I think they've been very consistent with. And when you talk about, the grind on the music, I think they've been very consistent with how they want to deliver it.
Yes.
Making sure it's
visuals and everything. Yes.
Going on different media tours and hitting up different spots and, just really being consistent about what you're supposed to do to work a project. I think they've done an incredible job with that.
Yeah.
I'm on it. And that was my first time working with Noah, and I think it helped us develop a relationship where we didn't really kind of know each other before. You know what I'm saying? Where we crossed paths.
He's an artist. He's an artist. I've got familiar with him. I don't know him. I've got familiar. He's an artist that I don't see as just throwing. there's lyrical content behind the clear. It is there.
Yes.
But, you know, and I'm not saying that Genius not. Because Genius a battle rapper. I've never heard. I don't know if I'm familiar with any music from Big Genius.
He can do it. He just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wish he would. I think that's something that he should really. You know, you got a name. You got the skill for it. You know.
Yeah.
Flex. You know, exercise those muscles.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So shout out to Genius for that. But definitely he should. I think he'd be something special if he could polish his recording artist skills up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you don't want me to. You know, you said there are certain questions I ask. You think I just be. You don't want them. You don't want them.
This guy's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know.
That is wild.
Yeah, I know. I think I know what he's thinking. Yo, radio, man. What do we need to before we close? What do we need to let them know? Because by the way, before y'all see this, we're gonna go live anyway. Yes. We got to talk about a few things. We got to get Big Jenny on here though, man.
Yeah,
I need your help with that.
I would love that. I would love that. I think a lot of people would. You know what I'm saying? Just.
You think he'll beat me up, man?
Nah, man. Yo, Genius, and that was one of the funny things Rel said in that battle. He was like, "Are you like this big bad dude, or you like the teddy bear dude?" Because he is.
You kind of can see that
he's low key
so,
like a teddy bear, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just really a good dude.
Yeah.
And he's also like a real Richmond hip hop, like student and fan. Like he, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he has no problem giving it up to like the people he feels like are like legends, and like, you know, he's like, what you learn about battle rappers is they're all nerds, like for real. You know what I'm saying? And I think to some extent to be that drilled into like the lyricism aspect and the competitive aspect and just really be in that world, you kind of have to nerd out. And he's just one of those people, like he's everything he looks like on stage, but then he's also kind of like way more than that.
I'm glad he did the battle. I'm glad that he's battling, period. First off, I've probably listened to all his battles on YouTube, so I've seen, you know,
and he's growing. His pen is growing. That's another thing. I think also being in the midst of going through the SouthPaw tournament, I think that honestly sharpened him up and took him to another level. Which is why he won it.
And the thing about it is this, man. Win or lose, when people are talking about you, you're doing the right things.
Absolutely.
You're doing the right things.
Absolutely.
Man, you stay with people talking about you, bro.
You think?
Yes. Are you doing enough? We wrapping up here, but what do we got? What's coming? 2024 is right around the corner. We got Flag on the Moon.
I got old music. I ain't give y'all. I gotta package up and figure out how I want to deliver.
I don't want any old music. I want new music.
I mean, I'm saying
you can't give us old music if it's not gonna be cut like that last project.
I ain't about to give you nothing that ain't
the last project. The last
it ain't
project
gonna be like that.
I like that space you was in because I was.
I'm gonna get back in that space. Me and Don Dubious. Don just sent me.
I can't believe that you told me. I figured that you took your time with that album, and you told me that you put that came together faster than some of your previous. That's crazy to me.
A week and a half, no lie. In fact, I can timestamp it because I know, like, I had spent a week doing like the first set of records, and then I was like, I probably got like 4 more records to do. But also me and Mike were like, on this particular weekend, we're gonna work on 10,000 hours. We, in our mind, because you know we did the first one in like 3 sessions. So in our mind, we're like, we're gonna knock this album out in a weekend. So we're just gonna, you know. So for me, I said, all right, I need to finish this project by the Thursday prior, and that's what I did. So I mean, but it was just. Don Dubious production as I don't think you can tell listening to it on an album because it just flows like really seamlessly, and you probably can't tell one record from the next because every beat that he makes transitions into another beat or two.
Oh, and no, that's
how he makes beats. Like he doesn't have one beat that is just one beat.
I mean, it was it flowed.
You know what I'm saying?
Flowed.
So it sounds like a bunch of different small songs, right? And it just, even though there's a finesse that has to come with putting that together and making it all sound like one cohesive thought, it also was very kind of like freeing. Like I felt like all I had to do was express myself.
Do you ever need anyone to, if you ever need me to write or contribute to any of your projects, I'm available.
I'll definitely keep that in mind.
You know this guy?
Oh, I definitely know this guy.
I used to write all his stuff.
No, you didn't.
I wrote all his music.
Never did that. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean,
we go all the way back to Tuesday Versus days. And
why do you think he's not rapping anymore?
Huh?
Why do you think he's not rapping? I stopped writing. I stopped writing his music.
No, we don't believe that.
Radio, man, it's a pleasure always, bro.
No, man,
and real talk, man. We in a time and place, man, where I mean, we talk trash and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But we're in a space where it's a real serious time that we living in, you know what I'm saying? Where as men, we just gotta have we gotta have conversations. We gotta be vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? And we gotta tell each other that we love each other and we care about each other. And I genuinely love you.
I love you too.
I appreciate you. And that's not just from me. I mean, it is from me, but it's for the city. It is, you know what I'm saying? Because you remove radio. Listen, y'all better appreciate radio, because if you remove radio from this space, well, if radio decided to go somewhere else or whatever the case, or God forbid, radio's health failed, just in real, I'm being really honest, and I'm not trying to be in a drag, but appreciate people while you got them. You know what I'm saying? Show your flowers and love them while you got them, because he holds a very valuable space in what he does in his work, in this city, in this state. And so look, I'm just saying, man, don't take it for granted. It's a lot of work that goes in, and he got something going on at least 2 weeks out of the month, and then it's work going into it every single day.
Every day.
So I'm saying that particularly to the younger artists who come through the platforms, and like he said before, it hadn't always been like this.
Nah.
So don't take it for granted, man.
Yeah, man. It's in 2017, and I'll keep it short, man. The term MC was not being used. It was defunct, at least in Richmond. The only time I heard the term MC being used was in battle rap. And, I had SouthPaw had already existed, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in the midst of that world. But outside of that, rappers weren't calling themselves MCs. You know what I'm saying? People weren't referring to rappers as MCs. And we didn't have these ciphers. Ciphers were also, that didn't exist either unless it was on BET. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many different things about what we, and I think we've done it so much now over the last 6 years that people are taking it for granted.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember prepping for the first Rap Elite, or what was Lyricist Lounge at the time. Yo, I can't let this go by without saying this. Aunt Marshall.
Yeah.
The originator, founder of the original Lyricist Lounge. If you don't know, Google it. Lyricist Lounge albums, Lyricist Lounge on MTV. But prior to that, it was a platform very similar to what Rap Elite does, not from a competition standpoint, but from an open mic cipher standpoint for lyricists. And you got your Talib Kweli's, your Mos Defs, and all these folks that came up out of there. 15-year-old Foxy Brown's, Biggie's first album release event was at a Lyricist Lounge event. You know what I'm saying? He's given us he's told me, he's just yo, what you're doing is this era's version of what we were doing, and you are already on path to being everything that you admire me for. And if you want to use my logo on any of your productions,
that's what's up.
Just being able to be given that that validation to do that You know what I'm saying? Whether we ever do it or not. You know what I'm saying?
And it's because of the conviction that you've been walking with, though. You know, that's what it is. Before you even knew it, he's seen it. That's God. Man.
And it's so crazy because, you know, I wasn't thinking about it in the way like, oh, we was jacking a name when we first started. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, I don't know who's posted, but it might have been your post.
Uh-oh.
Somebody posted the Rap Elite, Lyricist Lounge, like it might have been like episode 2 or 3, and he came across it and commented on it. It was like, who, like, nobody approved this from Lyricist Lounge.
I'll take it.
Get in contact with me, whoop-de-whoop. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I never even, I'm like, I didn't even think of it like that. I just thought of it, like, we looked at Lyricist Lounge as like a cultural word to describe what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't look at it as a brand. Okay. Yeah. And so that's how we ended up changing the name to Rap Elite. But I say all that to say, like, the full circle aspect of it, and the fact that, like I said at the last Rap Elite, we're doing something that no one else in the world is doing. Yeah. With Rap Elite, especially when you look at all the layers of it. And you know, I think it's something that Richmond should be investing in and paying a lot of attention to and doing everything.
Not just Richmond, man, Virginia,
yes, because most of a lot of our MCs span the entire state. Yeah. You know, never has there been 757-804 relations as good as they are right now. I ain't gonna say never, but you know, it's great right now. You know what I'm saying? Even down at the SouthPaw, we got a lot of
MCs it definitely is. It definitely is.
You know, so shout out to
Virginia.
Norfolk,
shout out Virginia and everybody everybody pushing Virginia, even if you are from North Carolina. Even if you are from North Carolina.
And I ain't the only one out here working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and I don't want to get into calling everybody out because I don't want to miss anybody. You know what I mean? But everybody knows who's
who
they are, and they know that I know that they working.
And they know,
I appreciate it.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Randy Wilson podcast, you know, podcast for the culture, from the culture, where you will find us. You'll find us at the intersection of hip hop, culture, and politics. Yes. We are right there at the stop sign in between. Okay, so you might want to slow down. I don't even know if it's a stop sign. Yield. Because when we have conversations with you, we're going to cover it all from community, culture, sports, hip-hop, politics. And this is Radio B. Happy to have you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
Peace.